Hello students, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing great. So welcome all of you at AriserTalent, and we have started our chapter of class 10th chemistry, that is about the metals and non-metals. And we are about on the last topic of this chapter that previously we have discussed about the corrosions. Now today, in our today's lecture, we are going to cover the two major topics, that is about the alloys and amalgams. So we have seen the corrosion of many metals like iron, aluminium, tin. We have seen a corrosion of lot of metal in our last lecture. But now, today we are going to deal about the alloys. You have heard the term alloy in your lower classes. So can you tell me what are actually the alloys is? Just think a moment and answer that what will be the alloys. Alloys are actually the homogeneous mixture of two metals, or either they be maybe the mixture of a metal and a non-metal. So if two metals are combined together to form a new compound, that will be the alloy. If one metal and one non-metal is going to combine, it will also going to make an alloy. So alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two metals or either a metal or a non-metal. Suppose I'm talking about the iron. Iron cannot be used in its raw form. Why it is not used in its raw form? Because it is very soft, and whenever you use the iron, it will become stretched. But iron is mixed with approximately 0.5% of the carbon to make the steel. And steel is actually an alloy, and we are using the steel, and it do not corrode easily, it do not melt. So there are some specific properties that alloy is possessed that you cannot use the raw metal in its original form. That's why we are not using the iron in its original form. We are making the alloys of iron, nickel, zinc and many more metals for using them as a alloys. Clear? So first write the definition of alloys here. What is alloys? Alloys are the homogeneous mixture of So alloys are actually the homogeneous mixture of two metals, a metal or a non-metal. Homogeneous. The word homogeneous means the compound which is formed consists of same kind of the particles. So example here will be the stainless steel, and why we are not using the iron in its raw form, as it is very soft, and when you use it, it will become stretch easily. So generally it is mixed with 0.5% of the carbon to increase its tendency, or you can say that to increase its tensile strength also. Clear? So the example here is stainless steel. And stainless steel is an alloy of iron plus some quantity of carbon is mixed in it. Clear? So this will be the alloy. Now, why we are using alloys and what are the reasons behind making an alloys? So alloys are specifically made firstly to increase its tensile strength, to increase its chemical reactivity, to increase the melting boiling point of a metals, and there are many few factors due to which the alloys are actually made. Clear? So what are the reasons for making alloy? So there are several reasons due to which the alloy formation is basically done, and you can say that these are actually the objectives of alloy formation. We can say that these are the objectives of alloy formation. Now what are the main reasons for alloy formation? The first reason for alloy formation is to increase resistance to corrosion. Second, to modify chemical reactivity. Third, to increase tensile strength. Next is to increase hardness. Next one is to lower melting point. Next reason is to make casting. So these are the basic reasons that why we are forming the alloys. So the first reason is to increase the resistance to corrosion. The second reason is to modify the chemical reactivity. Third is to increase the tensile strength of a metal. The fourth one is to increase the hardness. Fifth one is to lower the melting point, and last is to make the casting. So these are the actual reasons that why we are making the alloys here. So the first reason is to increase the resistance to corrosion. So if you are making alloy, the alloys will not corrode. If I am using the iron have a tendency, when it comes in contact with the moisture, it will corrode easily. But when we are using the stainless steel, it do not have a chance to corrode easily. That's why the cooking utensils we are using are of stainless steel, because they do not do any corrosion. Clear? So they are increasing the resistance to corrosion. Second factor is to modify the chemical reactivity. If you are making the alloy of any metal, the chemical reactivity will increase or decrease suitably. Clear? So if I am using the stainless steel, I have modified its chemical reactivity by just adding the carbon to it. Next one is to increase the tensile strength. If you want to increase the tensile strength of a material, you have to make the alloy. Example here is Magna aluminum. Magna aluminum is a combination of magnesium and aluminium, and you can see that magnesium and aluminium are the individual metals, but the Magna aluminum has a greater tensile strength as compared to magnesium and aluminium. Clear? To increase the hardness, if you want to increase the hardness of any substance, you can make its alloy. Similarly, we have just mixed the carbon with iron to increase the hardness. Next one is to lower the melting point. In some cases, the metal is going to react with the mercury and amalgams are formed. Whenever you react any metal with the mercury, amalgam is formed, and sodium amalgam is an example where you can lower the melting point of a substance. Last one is to make casting. For casting, cast type metals are generally formed, and this type of the casting is done only with the alloys. Clear? So these are the basic objectives for making alloy, and by making the alloys, you can see that how significantly you can achieve the various things here. Clear? Now, this is all about the definition and objectives of the alloy. Now we are going to start with some of the major alloys of different metal. So in the first category, I am discussing about the alloys of iron here. Clear? So let's copy this part from here so we can proceed to the next part. So we are starting with the alloys of iron. So in the alloys of iron, first we are going to discuss about the stainless steel. Stainless steel is an alloy of iron. So first is stainless steel. And do you know that stainless steel is made up of iron and carbon? We have just discussed that whenever a carbon is going to add it in 0.5 to 1% approximate quantity to the iron, you are getting the stainless steel. So stainless steel is an alloy of iron and carbon here. Clear? Next one is stainless steel is used basically in the utensils. It is used in making cutlery and all the things we are using as a utensil in your houses. You can see that they are basically made up of the stainless steel. So what are its uses? Uses it is used in making utensils. Second, it is used in making cutlery. Clear? So this is all about the stainless steel. Now, the next classification is all about the nickel steel. The second category is now what is nickel steel? As the name indicates, steel means Fe will be present here and nickel means along with the Ni, the steel is present here. Clear? So it basically consists of iron, chromium and nickel. So this alloy is actually made up of Fe, Cr and Ni. So you can say that it is made up of iron, nickel and chromium. Clear? So it is Fe, it is Ni and it is Cr. So this is made up of iron, nickel and chromium. So its name is nickel steel. Now this nickel steel is used to making, it is used in many machinery parts, or in fact it is used in making the many body parts, or you can say that many things in the spacecraft or aeroplane body parts. Clear? So nickel steel is used there. So its use is it is used in making parts of machineries, aeroplanes, etc. So this is the nickel steel. The third thing is Nico. Now, what is Nico made up of? Nico, Al is for aluminium, Ni is for nickel and Co will be for the cobalt. Clear? So, aluminium, nickel, cobalt along with iron is going to form the Nico, and Nico have a very strong magnetizing power. So, this is generally used to make the permanent magnet. The name of the permanent magnet is actually the Nico. Clear? So, Nico basically consists of aluminium, nickel, cobalt and it is an alloy of iron. So, iron is going to be definitely present here. Clear? So, it is Al, this is Ni, this is Co and this is Fe. So, Nico is actually a strong magnet. So, it is generally used in making the permanent magnet here. So, its uses are it is used in making permanent magnets. So you can see that we have discussed about the three type of the alloys which are actually made up of the iron. The first one is the stainless steel, second is the nickel steel, and the third one is the alnico. Now we are going to deal with the alloys of copper. Copper is also going to form the alloy. The most common alloy you have heard about the brass. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Then you have heard about the bronze. This is also an alloy of copper. So first copy this part from here. Now the next category is all about the alloys of copper. After iron, we are dealing with alloys of copper. So first alloy of copper is brass. The second one is bronze. The third alloy will be German silver. The fourth alloy will be, we have the 5 alloys here. So after German silver, we have a next metal that is known as the bell metal, and the last one is about the gun metal. So these are actually the alloys of copper you have. So firstly, we are discussing about the brass. It is a very common alloy, and you know that brass is made up of copper and zinc. Clear? Copper and zinc is going to make the brass, and where the brass is used, you have heard that brass is actually used for making the utensils. It is also used for making the items for the decoration purpose. Clear? So copper and zinc is going to make brass, and its uses are, it is used in decoration purpose and making utensils. Next one is bronze. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. So what are its constituents here? Its constituents here are copper and tin. Now where is bronze used? Bronze is again used in making the cutlery, and it is also used in making the decorative items. We have heard that the statues are actually made up of the bronze. We have seen or we have heard about the many type of the statues there. Clear? So its used is, it is used in making statues. It is used in making coins. Coins are also made up of the bronze. The third category is German silver. Now what does German silver consist of? The German silver actually consists of the combination of copper, zinc and nickel. When you mix copper, zinc and nickel, you will get the German silver. So it is a combination of, or it is an alloy of copper, zinc and nickel. And where is the German silver used? As it is white in color, it is used in silvering or polishing of the certain type of the mirror, because it is used in the silvery things. So its use is, it is used in silvery things. The next metal you have is about the bell metal and the gun metal. Now what are bell metal and the gun metal? So firstly we are discussing about the bell metal. Bell metal is again a combination of copper with tin. But what actually happens, in bronze you also have a copper plus tin. In this you also have a copper plus tin, but the percentage here is different. In this you have a 90% copper or approximately 10% tin. But if I am talking about the bell metal, you have approximately 70 to 80% of the copper, and rest 20% will be the tin. So it is actually an alloy of copper and tin. but the percentage here is quite different from this bronze. Bronze is having approximately 80-90 is to 10, and it is having approximately equal to 75 to 85, and rest of the metal is the tin here. And bell metal is used for making bell. So it is used for making bells. Now, the last category is about the gunmetal. Now, what is gunmetal? Gunmetal is actually used in the bearings. It is usually used in the machinery parts or ball bearings, you can say. So, gunmetal is actually used in the bearing parts. So, gunmetal actually composed of copper, zinc along with tin. So, copper, zinc and tin is going to make the gunmetal, and it's used as in bearings. It is used in bearings. Clear? So, you have seen that these are some of the important alloys of the copper. The first one is the brass, second is bronze, third is German silver, then we have discussed about the bell metal and the gunmetal. So, what you have to do, you have to learn the alloys, that how the metals will combine and alloys are formed. Because in exam generally a question can be asked what are the constituents or what are the metals or non-metals you are used in making the German silver. So, you have to learn this table for answering such type of the question. The next term we are going to move is about the alloys of aluminium. So, let's discuss about the alloys of aluminium. Actually, we have the two types of alloys of aluminium. The first one is dura-alumin. The first one is dura-alumin and second one is magna-alumin. The first one is dura-alumin and second one is magna-alumin. Now, what does dura-alumin consist of? So, dura-alumin is actually made up of aluminium, magnesium, manganese, zinc. Okay, and magna aluminium, as the name indicates, it consists of magnesium and aluminium. So, it will be magnesium and aluminium. So, you have generally heard about the aeroplane body parts. So, aeroplane body parts is actually made up of the material which is light in weight and actually it is durable. So, dura-aluminum is used in making the body parts of the aeroplane. So, its use is in making body parts of aeroplane. So, it is made up of the dura-alumin as it is light in weight. Second one is magna-alumin. Now, what are the uses of magna-alumin? Magna-alumin is actually a very light in weight. So, again it is used in making the body parts of many type of the things, and you have heard about the balance beam we are using in the laboratory. In physics lab we generally use the balance beam for measuring the weights. So, magna-alumin have a use that the balanced beam are made up of the magna-aluminum. Clear? So, these are some of the alloys of the aluminium we have seen. So, what we have seen? We have seen about the alloys of iron, we have seen about the alloys of copper, and lastly we have seen the alloys of aluminium. So, this topic alloys we have completed. Now, we are moving to our next topic, that is the last topic of this chapter, and it is all about the amalgams. So, just copy this from here. Now the next topic is all about the amalgams. Now what is amalgams? Amalgams are actually the mixture of mercury with a metal. Whenever you are going to mix any metal with the mercury, you will get the corresponding amalgam. Suppose if I am mixing sodium and mercury, I will get the sodium amalgam. And why we are making amalgams? We have discussed the reasons that why we are making the alloys. So there is also some reasons that why we are making the amalgams. Suppose I am making the sodium amalgam by mixing sodium and mercury. So sodium amalgam has a property that whenever it is used, it is having a less reactivity. Suppose we are talking about the tin amalgams. We are using tin amalgams and we are just using for the silvering of the cheap mirrors. We have seen that in mirrors it has a silver polishing behind it. And why this what this polishing is made up of? It is actually made up of the tin amalgam. Similarly, in the extraction of gold and silver, you are required some amalgams, and without that amalgams, the extraction is not possible. So these are the reasons that why we are making the amalgams. So firstly, let us write the definition of amalgam here. So amalgams are the mixture of metal and mercury. So whenever you are going to mix metal and mercury, you will get amalgam. So metal and mercury will give you the amalgam. Clear? So example here is about the sodium amalgam. Now this sodium amalgam is actually made up of sodium and mercury. So what it will do? It will make the sodium less reactive. So for reducing the reactivity, the sodium amalgam is actually used. Second one is tin amalgam. Now tin amalgam is actually made up of mixing tin with the mercury. And what is its use? Tin amalgam is basically used for silvering of cheap mirrors. It is used in the silvering of cheap mirrors. In the extraction of gold and silver, you also required some amalgams. So in extraction process, amalgam is also used. In extraction of gold and silver, amalgam is used. Clear? So this is how you can use the amalgam by mixing metal with the mercury. And if you are mixing two metal or a metal and a non-metal, you will get the alloys. Clear? So this is all about the last topic of this chapter, and we have completed this chapter with the last topic, that is about the alloys and amalgam. So we will deal with NCERT questions in our next lecture. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.